Adam Thielen is likely entering his last ride for the Carolina Panthers, and we are here to break down his potential impact for the Carolina Panthers offense in 2025. Let's go.
Brace yourself for the ultimate Carolina Panthers experience. Welcome to Two Growls, One Roar, the podcast that hits harder than a Luke Kuechly tackle. We're diving deep into the heart of Panther Nation, bringing you unrivaled passion, insider takes, and pure gridiron fire. From Wilmington to the cosmos, this is your home for the fiercest football talk east or west of Charlotte.
Welcome in, folks, to another edition of the Two Growls, One Roar podcast. We are all over the place this summer, talking about anything and everything that we want to. Appreciate you guys, as always, for tuning into this show. We do a lot of work. It's a second pastime of mine, and one day, you'll get to say you were here in the early days. That's all I got to say. We're going to keep pushing forward. So Adam Thielen's role in 2025, do you view him more as a veteran leader, or do you think he's going to be a top target for Bryce Young and the offense and Dave Canales? Let's discuss. Adam Thielen is going to be entering into his 12th season, and he has acknowledged that this could be his last. We know he spent a lot of time in the offseason thinking about this, contemplating it. Was he going to officially decide to hang it up? Well, he decided to come back, and part of the reason that he wanted to come back was one player in particular, and that, of course, is Bryce Young. You think of Adam Thielen, and we've talked about this, him really being the beacon of reliability for the Carolina Panthers since he entered the scene. You go back to Bryce Young's rookie season in 2023, Adam Thielen, DJ Chark, Jonathan Mingo, the mixture, Laviska Shenault of guys that were here, and Adam Thielen turned out to be the best option. Now, he was a bright spot in a terrible room, and you really didn't get like to appreciate it as much in the moment because the team was losing a lot of football games. You then look at last year, which we're going to talk about, in his 2024 campaign, which was cut shorter due to injury, but he was still one of the most productive wide receivers on the team. So here he is coming into his 12th season at 35 years old. What do we think? What do we think we are going to get out of Adam Thielen? And when now, firstly, let's be honest and say we know for a fact he's not just putting on the cleats to put on the cleats. He's not here to be a cheerleader. He is here to be a mentor, but he's here to compete. And I think that's what we've seen. That's the nature of him. And he's tired of the old Panthers way, is what we've heard. We want to get back to who we were and what we were from years past. 10-year anniversary of the Super Bowl run. What better time to finally hit a groove and just make the playoffs? Let's start there. So Adam Thielen's production, you actually look back at the 2023 season and it was a jump in his production in comparison to where he was at in Minnesota those final years. Like, we see Adam Thielen come in, eclipse 1,000 yards. That was big. Last year, coming onto the scene, roughly 600, a little over 600 yards, around 615 yards. So a drop, but part of that drop, of course, is to the injury that popped up. And, the injury that happened early in 2024, actually laying out for a touchdown against the Raiders. Everyone remembers that moment. But Adam Thielen and where he sits within this offense as it is right now has been this reliable, where are you? I'm going to find you type of player. And Bryce Young just has a comfortability with him and able to make plays. He knows that Adam Thielen can come up in the clutch on fourth down. We saw it numerous times, and it's not just little sit-down routes. It's some routes that are difficult, and he's made difficult catches along the way. So where exactly he fits into this, I think, is going to be a big question, and primarily it has to do with the position that Adam Thielen plays. You look at the evolving offense, and what we all know is a crowded wide receiver room. It's been significant changes. Like, there is no doubt Adam Thielen is the oldest active wide receiver in the NFL. which makes him the oldest wide receiver on the Carolina Panthers. He's the veteran in the room. He's here to lead. He's here to guide. He's got one more ride in him. And he's got a lot of competition around him, which we'll get into in just a second. But you think about the room itself with Tetairoa McMillan, who's going to be your wide receiver one, your X. Xavier, who probably is going to play on the outside, moving him around a little bit, but not necessarily your slot guy. And then we got a bunch of guys, folks, that can play slot. Hunter Renfrow, another veteran who may be following in the same path as Adam Thielen did on a one-year contract here, but with the potential to, maybe get a 2 or 3 year contract and continue where Adam Thielen leaves off and maybe where Adam Thielen eventually retires after this season. You have Jalen Coker, who's actually looking a lot faster this year, but Jalen Coker played a lot in the slot. Now, I think just naturally speaking, given the sheer number of players and where the team sits in that room, you're probably going to move Coker around because you have Hunter Renfrow. Like we said, you have Adam Thielen, both of those guys probably in the slot. And you have Jimmy Horn Jr., who we've not talked a lot about in this particular episode, but Jimmy Horn Jr. is in the mix as well. So for me, I think it's trying to understand exactly where he will fit into the equation. So we know as a veteran, the mentorship that he provides and also just fueling Bryce Young and his development. Like, he is the security blanket. And I think as Bryce Young developed and honestly, Bryce Young's development itself probably benefited, honestly, not from not having Adam Thielen in the lineup, but having a hodgepodge of receivers last year. Not a great receiving group his rookie season. His second year in the NFL, once he actually got back in, the one receiver who was brought in, Deontay Johnson, was gone. Jonathan Mingo was gone. And so he's thrown to a bunch of guys. It's like, okay, you got David Moore, you have Jalen Coker, bringing up this guy. And you didn't have Adam Thielen on there as well. And we still saw Bryce Young continue to produce. And then, of course, once Adam Thielen did get back into the mix, improvements there as well. And, Bryce Young finding the target that he has trusted for so long. A lot of the resurgence in Bryce Young had to do with his ability to avoid pressure in the pocket, get the ball out quick, become efficient. You think about down the stretch, over 100 quarterback rating, 7 touchdowns, no interceptions. It was big. It was. And I do think Adam Thielen played a small part in that. Thielen's intangible value of what he can provide to the offense and to Bryce Young, and why I think he's still going to be a big factor, maybe not a 800-yard receiver, 700-yard receiver, maybe in the 500 to 600-yard range, but who knows? He's very crisp with his route running still. He can still create separation. He's good at understanding and reading the coverages. I mean, you're a 12-year veteran. You're going to understand how the NFL works. You're going to understand how the defenses work. And so you have that to your benefit, even though you may possibly have lost a step along the way. And of course, his on-field leadership. What he is able to do as a coach on the field, not only for the receivers, but for Bryce Young and those around him, just being able to provide that veteran type of leadership. When you look at the early projections of where things sit in this season, Tetairoa McMillan probably going to get the most snap counts, but also targets. 88 receptions is some of the early projections. Some folks have Adam Thielen second or third in the rotation for number of targets and catches at about 68 right now. Xavier Legette with around 58. And actually Hunter Renfrow, who I still have some folks that don't know if he's going to make the roster, but I still believe in him with 48. From a yardage breakdown perspective, I do think Tetairoa McMillan leads the charge, and we're probably talking close to 1,000 yards. That would be my early guess. And then I kind of highlighted what I think about Adam Thielen, his potential projection for this year with around 700, 750 is your ceiling. But more realistically, I think as far as us feeling comfortable, because you do want to see other players get those snaps, 500 or 600. But in the same vein of, yes, I want Xavier. Yes, I want Coker. Yes, I want Jimmy Horn Jr., Renfrow, whoever it is. I want these other guys to be able to get their snaps, get their catches, get their yards, all those things. If Adam Thielen is still performing at a high level, I also want him to be in the mix as well. It's like, why would you want to destroy something that is working, something that you know it's like, okay, this works. We've got this figured out. I know what he can do. So let's go for it. Let's do it. So I like that. So for me, I think it's a mixture of both as far as what we think about the outlook for him. I think he primarily in this what we'll call last ride will sit in the role as the veteran leader inside the locker room, inside the wide receiver room, and what he's able to do as far as his impact on the field may be notched down just a little bit, but I still think the targets are going to be there. I think the clutch gene that he has until proven otherwise, where we saw him thrive in the red zone, on fourth downs, as a reliable target in crucial situations and being able to get open, and Bryce Young being able to find him, I think Young trusts him. And when you have someone that you trust as much as you do, and your young quarterback, you're going to get your targets, you're going to get your receptions, and with that, your yardage. So I'm excited for it. And I think all this thing translating into winning some football games. That's the end goal. If you're a Carolina Panthers fan, is seeing winning football again here in the Carolinas. So verdict, I think he is going to be this bridge for the next group of young core players that are here in the wide receiver room as he rides off, hopefully into the sunset on, I mean, we're not here to talk Super Bowls, but at least riding off into the sunset for his career on a high note and possibly playoff berth, maybe winning the NFC South, taking care of business. And I know a lot of folks, it's multiple times over the last 2 years have wanted him shipped off for whatever draft compensation you can get, but I think he's deserved it to be here to finish as he goes through this final little stint here in Carolina and potentially hangs it up. And the last thing I'll say is that I hope you, as a Carolina Panthers fan, appreciate Adam Thielen. You appreciate this last ride for what he's putting his body through. And like, let's just enjoy it, man. Let's see what we got. And like we said, hopefully win some more football games this fall. Well, folks, this is Carolina Dad. Y'all have a good one.